Hey tag team, Allison Roberts here, and I am back with another tag. Tag means talk about grace. Today's tag theme is a better me. And I know when you hear a better me, you start to think of self-help books and those things. And naturally, that is where we would go. We would start to evaluate life and where we are and where we're going and what we want to do. What elements we need to improve? Do we need to go back to school? Do we need a change in life and career? All of those things would add up. Some persons will go directly to the physical, where it's about, health and eating better, exercising, all those things. But today when I speak of a better me, it is for me to go back to the source, the creator, God himself, to determine what he had in store for me before I started making those decisions that sometimes are not as good as we think they are. Because a lot of times success for us looks different than what success for us in God looks like. And it is very difficult sometimes to realize that we may think or we may be successful in the natural and are failing in the things of the spirit. Yeah, and that should be concerning, because if we are Christians, our lives should look like what God has created it to look like. Yeah, you can honestly be successful in the natural, big boss in your space and doing well, excited, happy. You can have anything you want, and your soul is perishing. So I want to go back to the manufacturer, where I want a better me, the me that looks like what God thought of in his mind, even from the beginning of time when he knew he would have created me. And what does that look like? I think the source to find out what a better you would look like is to know who Jesus is. And the word tells us that we ought to be more and more like Jesus. So a better you would look like Jesus. And so it is about doing the things that will lead you to look like Jesus. Jesus calls us to forgive. Jesus calls us to love our enemies. Them things they are, we not even think about them things there when we are thinking about changing our lives. We start more thinking of, me I go cut them off because they are baggage, they are distraction, they are this, and moving away from certain people because them not on my level. That's where we go when we are thinking about life improvements. But in this state, a better me equals me looking more like Jesus. And so that includes delving deep into the recesses of our hearts and our minds to see the people them who have up, the people them who wanna forgive from we're 3 years old. And those things, sometimes they come up in your spirit after so long. When you think you buried it, something happens and triggers it. And so in order for us to be better people, we have to ensure that our heart now have no bag of korokoro. Yeah, man. And in order to do that, we have to stir up some things that we probably have buried or thought that, I don't want to think about that again. We probably have to bring them back to the surface and surrender them to God for healing. So think about your childhood trauma that you buried, those persons who hurt you. Sometimes it's our very family and our parents and our siblings. Yeah, it is start to think, but that is life. People who you are closer to, people who you give more access, they are normally the ones who are able to hurt you in immeasurable ways. So it is time for us to really start to forgive 70 times 7 in a real way, and not just whatever, I cut you out of my life when I think about you, so it not affect me. No, it's about forgiving like Jesus. Yeah, this is a very difficult thing to do, so I am not giving you 1, 2, 3 steps for a better life, like those self-help books that guarantee this. Doing what God calls us to do is a process, and it takes daily dying to self. And dying to self refers to the things that you feel like supposed to happen and who need for pay and who need to be cut off. Yeah, those things have to be gotten rid of. We have to allow the Lord to saturate our hearts with His love and His enabling power, so that we are able to really and truly and honestly, in completeness, forgive those who have hurt us, so that we can move forward free, because we know that forgiveness, it has a lot of other spiritual implications. So it's not just the fact that I have you, but the things that when that hurt is kept in your heart, it leads even to physical sickness. And I don't want no sickness. I don't want no unnecessary burdens. Yeah, man, and the spiritual implications as well, where you are allowing access to you by certain entities of the enemy. And so, truly, if we want to be better, we have to be more like Christ. So we are called to forgive. We are called to love our enemies. And I'm not telling you that this is easy, but I'm telling you that it is possible through Jesus Christ. So for me, I would love to advise you that it is a daily process. It is not just, alright, me do this God today, me do it and yeah, life transform. No, it's walking in forgiveness. It is walking in love, and that suggests a daily conscious decision to be like Christ, to be healed, to be free, and not to go back to our vomit like the dogs, but to move forward in the love of Christ that gives us victory in Himself. And so the Lord says, seek ye first and all His righteousness, and all other things shall be added unto you. So I believe that this is the work that we have to do to be better, and the success that we seek even in the natural, it is attached to the better version of us. It is attached to the healed version of us. So it's for us to work through submitting our wills and our ways to God. It is for us to work through forgiving and loving. And in being whole and being a better person, the capacity opens up. That space where you did that stuff, all the unforgiveness, it leaves room for growth. And with that new capacity, you are able to do the things that will lead you to greater success in reality. You will be able to study, have your mind free. You will be able to see the blessings of the Lord in promotions and other things. So don't think first about the blessings and the promotions. Think about that work of submission that we have to do to look more like Christ, so that we can be better, and in turn be better to you, all those blessings and success. So come on, it's time to shake off, time to be transformed in Christ into a better you. Have an awesome week, tag team. Bless you.